At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note that they have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider or doctor prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. The stories shared reflect the unique experience of a very small percentage of OPTAVIA coaches and should not be relied upon by prospective or current OPTAVIA coaches as an indication of what they should expect to earn. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan.
Good evening, everyone. We're so excited to be with you and hang this evening. I am Meghan, Cody.
And I'm Sean.
And we are going to jump into an awesome night, a Help and Hope night, where we share some stories and what OPTAVIA has meant to us and the people that you'll be hearing from tonight and how it might potentially impact you on your journey. So we have been a part of OPTAVIA for almost 8 years now.
Yeah. Which seems crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of just flown by in the best way. This is our family, boy moms, and I love being a boy mom. And through OPTAVIA, we have just been able to really come in and find our little spot in the world, would be the best way I would say it. So we started out living away from family when I had my first son, and my initial need, and as you're sitting here tonight, you might be listening to this and wondering, hey, like how can OPTAVIA maybe be a piece to my puzzle to help me solve my place of pain? And for me, I actually came in looking for a place to be connected. We need community, and I was lacking community majorly, living in a new city with a newborn. So I came in and I felt like I had met some of my people. And as the years have gone on, many of the coaches and clients in our community have become some of our dearest friends. I went on to lose 20 pounds on our nursing moms plan. And I really feel like OPTAVIA gave us a chance to live our fullest life, being connected with people, really feeling our best. And even in the midst of raising two crazy, energetic little boys, having that energy and stamina to do life with them.
Yeah. And so when I came into OPTAVIA, I was, very fortunately, I was at a healthy weight, but I didn't have a very healthy comprehension of what health really was, right? To me, health was really one-dimensional. And maybe you can relate this. It was just about being in the gym, right? The gym was where health was made or broken. And I've learned so much since then through OPTAVIA and this community, right? Because at times I was injured and I thought that was the end to my health. But since then, through habits of health and community, I've learned that, fitness is just one part of one component of our health. And we're going to get a little bit more into the components later. So stay tuned for that. But also, a big thing for me was, we felt so much in love with this mission and what we were to accomplish that I did decide to leave a promising career to do this, right? Because we get the chance to do well, to provide for ourselves, our family, our future by doing good, by being part of an amazing mission. Now, I will say, that's not everybody. That is atypical. We worked hard. We persevered over years. We definitely did a lot of work on ourselves and work on our skill sets. And found that's one of the things that we really enjoy the most. We feel like we've grown into a higher version of ourselves through this community.
Yep. So this evening, we have a lot of things we want to dive into with you. And here's just a little bit of the agenda. So if you're like, I don't know, someone invited me on, I want to get healthier, but what's this all about? We're just going to be talking a little bit about how you can create a lifelong transformation within OPTAVIA and how you can really just take the first step. You're going to hear some of these stories and you might frankly go, I just want to start by losing a few pounds. And that's awesome. Wherever you are, we are meeting you there, and we understand because we had our first step almost 8 years ago. Okay. So we get that, but we're going to show you what it might look like to take your first step and even paint a bigger picture for creating lifelong health.
Yeah. And at the end of this, we're going to give you a few, very simple action steps. Okay. If at this point, I'm curious, or maybe even made a decision to move forward, what can you do even tonight to take the next steps? So we're curious. We love to engage. We want to hear from you. So, please help us by answer the poll. You should see this poll coming up in the middle of your screen.
Or it will in a second.
Yep. So what best describes you? Are you an independent OPTAVIA coach yourself? Are you a client? Are you a guest? And even, which geography are you in if you are a coach? So, yep, help us out. Let's see. Let's hear from you.
Okay. Awesome. It looks like it's starting to come in. Thank you guys for responding. It's just helpful to get an idea of where you're at. It looks like we have a big mix on tonight. So that's great. Very cool.
So with that, if you're like me, when you heard of OPTAVIA or you're thinking tonight, you're thinking to yourself, well, what makes OPTAVIA different? And I feel like this man and the work that he's done to create this vision and this company, really helps explain that question. So I could read all of these amazing accolades for you about Dr. A, but needless to say, he's brilliant. He's world-class in medicine. But Dr. A, he had a vision. And if I can use a metaphor, at one point, as he was caring for the sick and the literally dying, he recognized that he was just rescuing people who were drowning, so to speak, drowning in their health. And he had a little bit of an awakening saying, right, instead of helping the people drowning, instead of being the lifeguard, I want to be the swim instructor. I want to teach people how to swim for themselves in their health so that they don't need rescue, so that they aren't ending up here in the ER, in the hospital, for things that they could have prevented by their own health. And that vision is what gave birth to OPTAVIA. Yeah. And he was right. So he connected the dots. He had the vision that, okay, our physical health doesn't really stand alone. It's not on an island, right? Our physical health is very interconnected with both our mental health and our financial health. And there's kind of some stark statistics on the screen, but they illustrate the place that we're in and the need for OPTAVIA in our lives individually, but also across America and across the world. So, just to read a couple of these that really stuck out to me, like, wow, most of the world's population, this is at the top, live in countries where the result of being overweight kills more people than being underweight or malnutrition. That's shocking. And then again, here at the very bottom, between 2019 and 2020, rates of anxiety and depression tripled. Again, highlighting the need to take a look at our mental health, to take a look at what we're doing in community. And OPTAVIA has some amazing tools to help with that. And you're going to hear some stories tonight of people who made a shift in their own lives.
Yeah, I might even add that it's now more than ever. People are really, and that you might be sitting here looking at an option that you maybe didn't need a year ago, but now you're in a spot where you're like, I really want to take back my health physically, mentally, and make sure that I'm feeling my best for me and my world around me. Awesome. So we're very excited because we'll share with you a little bit tonight about the tools that we have within OPTAVIA. So again, you'll hear me make this joke a few times probably this evening. You might just be going, Megan, Sean, I just want to lose a few pounds. Awesome. That's so great. We'll start with that first step. But did you know that when you join in on OPTAVIA, that there are going to be tools to actually help you keep the weight off and work on your mindset and all different pieces of your well-being? And so we're going to cover some of those tonight and how it's really unique, because I don't want you to just lose the weight. I want you to know what to do once you get to that spot. And that's where OPTAVIA is really different from other things out there, is we equip you and help you have the tools so you can take those, if you so choose, and rock your lifelong transformation. So with that being said, I want to give you a preview of one of those things. You saw it in the last slide, the life book, and element 3 is one of my favorite elements. So just to give you an idea, if you're like, I don't know if I need a book, this book is awesome, and we'll talk more about it. But element 3 is one of my favorites that you'll be reading towards the beginning if you join in and become a client. And just to give you a little preview, you learn in there how to strategize, okay, and tools and methods that help you create sustainable long-term health and well-being. And I really feel like the life book is unique because it gets you out of just what you think you know about yourself and actually diving into some of the areas where you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I had that experience. I was like, I've been a coach for a long time when the life book came out a few years ago. And I mean, I'm curious what else I can learn. I'm curious what I already know in there. I learned so much even after being a coach for years, because there were habit loops and triggers that I needed to dive into some more. And through learning them, it wasn't a burden. It actually freed me up and gave me tools to optimize my health.
Right. It's like if you take Dr. Ray and all his wisdom and mentorship and just like condense it into a book, like you're getting Dr. Ray. It's like, in a sense, you're getting Dr. Ray's mentorship just through the time that you spend in that book and what you learn.
Yeah, super valuable. Okay.
So we've begun to touch on every item here.
Yeah, so we are going to go into all of the items through our stories tonight, but these are the 4 components and what makes OPTAVIA so unique. Number 1, you have a health coach. They invited you on probably this call tonight, and they care for you. That's why they spent the time inviting you, and they are here with you, and they are going to be your guide. They are not going to be like the end all be all to everything. They're a guide though, to point you to the resources you really need. Number 2 is the Habits of Health Transformation System, Dr. A's Habits of Health book and the Life book that I touched on. Number 3, community. There are so many cool community pieces to OPTAVIA. I won't even go into all of them. Your coach can share though. There's Facebook pages, there's Pinterest pages, there's lots of things available for the community piece. And then number 4, fuelings. How you feel your body, the nutrition plan, the unique nutrition plan that you will get with OPTAVIA to help you lose and reach your goals and give you the tools to get to where you want to go. That is going to be a great thing to discuss with your coach of which plan is going to be a fit for you. But the fuelings and the weight loss is just one of the 4 components to help you with that long-term success.
Yeah, I would wager that a lot of you are on here because you have seen someone having incredible results in their own physical health, and you're kind of like, okay, tell me a little bit how is this working? Some of that how is going to come through the stories tonight, but I do want to share of the OPTAVIA fuelings and the plans that we offer. The most common is the Optimal Health 5-in-1 plan, and for a little bit more explanation about that, it's really best to connect with your coach. But what's awesome is you're going to get into a mild fat burning state while preserving muscle mass, losing weight quickly and safely, while having great levels of energy. It's truly amazing. So you've seen the 4 components. Maybe you already have a sense of what you're looking for. You're going to see a poll come up. So of those, what do you feel is most important to you in your journey forward in your health? Is it the coach? Is it the Habits of Health system, the community, the fuelings, and the nutrition plans? Let us know in here. We're going to take a look at the poll results here in just a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, so with that being said, I'm so excited to introduce our first guest tonight. She's going to be sharing a little bit about her health journey. So if you're on here and you're going, I'm here to learn about how I can get healthier, how I can lose some weight, I think Julie is going to be such an inspiration to you. So Julie, take it away. Share a little bit of your story.
Well, hello. Thank you for letting me share my story. I'm so grateful that I have a story to share because, I'm just going to make a broad stroke comment. I have struggled with my weight literally my whole life. And it has I've never known a time where I did not have to be thinking about it, conscious about it, and working towards that. But as I got older and in that menopausal stage, it became worse and worse. And I was working at a sedentary job in an office. I was 55 at the time. I had high blood pressure, pre-diabetic. I had all the things starting to happen that were really starting to scare me. And, you know, we all hear the wives' tale that, oh, you're menopausal. It's hard for you to lose weight. It's going to be a struggle, and you might as well just settle for where you're at. But that's a hard pill to swallow. I didn't want to have to accept that. And lo and behold, somebody actually invited me to this very same kind of call that you're watching tonight with us. And that just rocked my world. I could not believe all the stories that I was hearing, and I couldn't wait to get started. I immediately called my coach the very next morning, well, who is my coach now, signed up right away, got started, and I literally lost 72 pounds over the course of 6 months. Now, I was very dedicated to the program, and I started feeling amazing. My overall health got in balance of where it should be, and life was just good. But even beyond that, people, of course, were noticing the physical changes in me, but they also were noticing my joy, my just the way I was showing up. I was a happier person. I had a lot more energy. I was sleeping good. And life became something that I hadn't recognized in so many years. You guys, I can't even tell you. And I know I'm speaking just for me, but for somebody in their 50s, I felt like I was in my 30s and 40s again. And that to me was amazing. Of course, people were noticing. So now the biggest joy that I have is being able to share this program with them too, and helping them get started. There's just nothing better than paying something good forward. So thank you guys so much for letting me share.
Thank you, Julie, for sharing. I think it's so important for people to hear other testimonials and stories, because we've been there. Like, we're here sharing from our excitement and what we've experienced. But I remember when we were there, right, Julie, going, yeah, this is gonna work for me. And just to hear your story, I think offers a breath of hope. Thank you.
So let's take a look at those poll results. So of the 4 components, which one is most valuable to you? Okay. All right. So pretty consistent with what I would expect, pretty well across the board. I hear, especially from a lot of people that we work with, that the community is, you know, maybe their favorite, or maybe what they just didn't expect to be as valuable. Being connected with like-minded people working on improving themselves in their own health. So awesome. Thank you guys for sharing.
Yes, thanks for engaging. Okay, cool. This is one of my favorite things to look at. So if you're not a numbers person like me, that's okay. This is pretty simple, but there are 3 pieces to OPTAVIA, and we want to touch on all of those we are this evening, because you're not just a number on the scale. You're a whole person, and you might be coming here looking for more health, but I believe that health in the body is also intertwined with other pieces of who we are. So your coach can get more into more of this with you, but I just wanted to share that when you're looking at this, there are 3 things we stand for in OPTAVIA: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. We believe all of those matter. And you'll see when you look at this that there's all different pieces within those. And so it's really fun. Maybe you snap a picture of this with your phone, but just to gauge where are you at. And I remember when we were thinking about joining OPTAVIA, I saw almost this exact wheel, the Trilogy wheel. I think it's been like made to look a little prettier now. And we circled. Remember that, Sean? We circled where we were at and measured, and we're like, oh, we really need to work in these 2 areas, and those are areas we want to improve on. This is about so much more than just our bodies or the number on the scale.
Yeah, over and over again, I hear from people as they take a look back at the Trilogy wheel again, whether they're clients, whether they're part of our coaching community, saying, wow, I've come a long way in all of these areas since either I joined this community or maybe in just the past year. And that's really what we're about. We're about progress over perfection. And that's what this offers.
Okay, with that being said, I am so excited to introduce to you one of my dear friends, Erica. She's going to share a little bit of how this community has impacted her. We've been friends for years, and she got involved about 2 years ago. So it's been really fun to watch this just change her and her husband, and to just go into their families' worlds a little bit. So Erica, I'm going to kick it off to you to share a little bit about healthy mind and how that piece of the trilogy has impacted you.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. It's been a huge deal for us. We came into OPTAVIA about 2 years ago. My husband had lost 40 pounds, and that was really powerful for us. But I had no idea what our mindset still needed to shift. Like, I knew about healthy body, I had that, but I didn't have the healthy mind piece. And I had no idea that you can have a healthy body, but when you start to get a healthy mind, other things can really start to transform for you. And so that was really powerful for us when we got into the community. Like, two big keys are the community of other clients and coaches online, and then as we got to meet other people in person, and then also really getting into the tools that we have. So Megan and Sean have already talked about this, but like the life book, these webinars that you're watching right now are so powerful for me, because what I realized is I can eat and drink healthy, but if my mindset and the ways I'm thinking and I'm living are not in congruence with that, it really doesn't matter what I'm eating and drinking, because my health won't be balanced all around. Webinar was really important for our family because it looked at this idea of having a open and growth mindset or a closed mindset. And it really started to help me look into my relationships and realize, wow, like I am realizing that I can often have a closed mindset and be like, this is just how it's going to be. I've decided it, instead to be open and curious and say, maybe there could be another way. Maybe there's something there. And what's so cool then is when our mindset is shifting, I have found for me personally, it's so much easier then to eat and drink well, because I'm not using food to cope with stress or different things, because I'm working on my relationships and my mindset, which then bleeds over and leans over into my eating and drinking, my exercise, my movement, my physical health. And so it's just been powerful for us. I've seen it as now realizing we had the healthy body piece and now having the healthy mind piece. It's just been really neat. And now I look and I see other people, I can really distinguish, like, yeah, I can see when someone has a healthy mind, they just have more of a peace in their life, and it's a lot easier to do that healthy body piece.
Yes, thank you for that, Erica. So true. Our mind, it matters. It matters. I love what you said about we can eat and drink healthy, but if we're not taking care of the mind too, like it makes it a lot harder. It makes it a lot less fun too. So that's a piece that you don't have to figure out on your own. Dr. A has figured out it for you, and you just get to kind of work the system, and you'll learn as you go along. Very cool.
Okay,
Cool.
So another poll. You're going to see this pop up on your screen.
We just want to engage with you guys.
Yeah, we want to know. Are you there? Are you with us? What area of the Trilogy of Optimal Health would you most like to improve? Added benefit, you can vote for as many of these as you want to.
Oh, we can do multiple clicks.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to improve in every area? Healthy body, healthy mind, and or healthy finances. Let us know. Vote in the poll. We'll take a look at our results soon.
Cool. So as you're going along on your journey, people will notice. It's a part of your journey. And trust me, that's fun. If you're someone that you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, totally okay. You don't have to talk about anybody until you're ready. But it's neat because people will notice how great you're looking, how good you're feeling. And when people begin to ask you what you're doing, just know that you don't have to panic. You have two options. You can refer them to your coach, and they'd be happy to talk with them and walk alongside of them. Or you could consider paying it forward like all of us have there presenting tonight. And I think if you sat us all down and asked, like, were you planning on being a coach? A lot of health coaches would be like, no, I just want to get started on my health journey. And then I had friends and family asking, and that's how one thing led to another.
Yeah. Along those same lines, I think a lot of coaches realize that becoming a coach, or even just referring as many people as they can into the community, is in fact a step, is a process in getting healthier, in building more of a community of people around them who are on that same journey.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to focus on health and stay healthy.
All right, so we finished up the poll, we wrapped it up, taking a look at the results here. Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So as we can see, all three pieces are important, but maybe you have one that's really your focus at this time, and that's great. Okay, cool. So let's talk about some of the benefits of becoming a coach, because some of you are on for that right now and you're like, I'm wondering about this, and Beth's going to share a little more. So hang tight and listen to her story, because I think it's going to be really helpful for you to hear. But becoming a coach is going to help you to, like Sean already said, to continue to be healthy, reinforce your decision to be healthy because you're surrounded by other people who are healthy. You get to make a difference and help your friends, family. And it's really, really fun. We got into this. I was looking for the fun, honestly, in the community. That was my place of pain, like I said at the beginning. And it's been so neat to see while we've been rewarded and compensated for this and have gotten to create our life around, our family and all those sort of neat things, we are getting to impact other people and help them, and not only leave a legacy for our family, but actually help other families have legacies of health and abundance and creating well-being.
It's like a triple threat, right?
Yes.
It's fun, it makes a difference, and the rewards are amazing.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm just going to go ahead and hand this over. My friend Elizabeth, our friend Elizabeth, is going to share a little bit of what her OPTAVIA journey has meant for her. Beth, take it away.
Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to share, because it's really exciting. I am that person that joined this just to lose some weight. That's all I want to do. You lose some weight, fit into pants, feel good. And it has led to so much more. Those people notice. And I was offered that coaching opportunity too, and said yes, and helped a few people and thought, maybe I can take my family on a vacation. Wouldn't that be cool? We haven't been able to do that. And we were able to do that. I started nursing school and I thought, okay, maybe I can pay or help pay for nursing school, because that was the next thing on my list to do. And I did. I paid for nursing school and finished. And you know what? That led me to say yes to so many more things, things that I had never thought were even possible for my family. My son, he had the opportunity to do a STEM camp where there was medical education, and he got to build a robot, and he got to do all of these fabulous things that he never would have been able to do without OPTAVIA. We were able to give him that, and it's amazing. My other son, I have 4 kids. He got to go to a basketball camp for a whole week with some incredible mentors that were teaching him life skills, not just basketball, things that he can take with him forever. And he's using to this day. And that would not have happened without a yes to coaching. And I know that this is not a normal thing. And I put a lot of heart and a lot of time and hard work. And my husband is doing this with me. And I've been able to stay home and continue to stay home with my kids and say yes to so many more things. Teach them that, even though we teach them to dream as a child, you can continue to dream as an adult. And we do that together now. We've planned out vacations. It's not just a one vacation that we got to do. We're doing many things. We're becoming that yes family. And we're all in that growth mindset. We're living above the line and doing some really cool things within our community that we never thought were possible. So, I'm just so grateful and thankful and blessed to have had this opportunity. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Beth, for sharing. It's so great to hear, especially from a mom who's managing a lot with a bunch of littles and getting to, just bring them along on this journey. So that's beautiful. I love it. Okay, action steps, Sean.
Yeah, so very simple. I love the action steps. I'm like the action step guy. So keep it really simple. You just reach out to the person who invited you, right? If someone said, hey, I think you might be interested, reach back out to them, share with them what stood out to you, share with them the stories that you loved, and ask them, okay, what are the next steps for me?
Yep. They want to know. They want to, your coach who invited you on, they want to connect with you and they want to know where you're at, whether it's you have questions, whether you're skeptical, whether you're like, okay, I resonated with this person. I would text your coach right now and share with them who on this call did you resonate with. Their story maybe is a little bit of what you're looking for. And then you can decide if this is the next step for you and you're ready to incorporate all the pieces of OPTAVIA to help you reach your goals, or even just take that first baby step towards your health. I know it can feel a little bit scary, but when you step in and take that first step, your coach is going to be with you and they're going to guide you and show you each little bit along the way. And it's like Dr. A says, these micro habits add up. We're not trying to create all the change overnight. Our first step is just to say yes and take that first step, and then we'll add on and layer more habits as we go along.
It has been great being with all of you tonight. You've been awesome. We'll see you around soon.
Bye, guys.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The previous audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note that they have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider or doctor prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. The stories shared reflect the unique experience of a very small percentage of OPTAVIA coaches and should not be relied upon by prospective or current OPTAVIA coaches as an indication of what they should expect to earn. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For OPTAVIA coaches operating in the US, please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the US under the US Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan.